Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Bjorn's Mighty Thoughts. And yeah, another episode of where I'm going to sit here and ramble about something. So, what's Bjorn going to ramble about today? Well, I've been playing a lot of Star Trek online recently, been watching some Star Trek videos, things of that nature. And I figured, you know what? There's a lot of really cool ships in the Star Trek verse. I think I'm going to compile a top 10 list of my favorite ships. And hey, feel free to share some of yours. Maybe some of yours maybe your favorite made the list. Maybe it didn't. So let's dive in and find out. At number 10, we're going to start with the Miranda class. It's a light cruiser, or classified as a light cruiser. And I want to consider this as a very interesting design. Honestly, I didn't see a design like this up until the Wrath of Khan. And I just find it very interesting. It's a very compact design. It's more or less, I feel, unorthodox compared to what they're used to, but still staying in the same realm of what Starfleet usually does for ship designs. And the ship was a real workhorse. And it would stay in service for a long time, considering it was in service in the 23rd century. And you could actually still find these things in service in the 25th century. Of course, I'm sure they had a lot of upgrades, things of that nature. They really weren't as good as they were in the 23rd century by the 25th century, even with the upgrades. All right. Number 10 is the NX class. Now, at first, I didn't really like the NX class all that much. Basically, it's like, wait, this show is it's Star Trek Enterprise. It's supposed to be a prequel. Why is the ship so damn shapely? Then you start thinking about it and watching the show, and you find out all the differences in the NX, consider the NX versus ships that would follow the NX, including the Command and Control Center, which was god-awful. The armaments was absolutely crap. There was no such thing as shields on this ship. The whole armor plating was completely different than what they were used to. If I recall, it didn't even have a deflector dish when it first started. So it was a very interesting, very shapely design, and I like how the ship actually played out. They played the ship out very well, script-wise for the series. And yeah, it's kind of a cool looking ship for nostalgia, I guess. Number 8 is the Prometheus Pioneer class. Now this is actually a ship that's in Star Trek Online. It's considered a utility cruiser, utility frigate. It's a much smaller ship. It's very tight, very compact. As you can see, it's got the pylons and the warp nacelles of the Constitution class, while also using the saucer section of the Constitution and many, many other features. It's kind of like one of those things of, hey, let's take Constitution class and we're going to cut out the hull, and then we're just going to put it all in one piece. Kind of reminds me of a Miranda class, really. Maybe the Miranda was influenced by this. Who knows? It's not a very good ship, but I thought it was very cool for being a Star Trek Online only ship. Number 7. Yeah, probably the most menacing ship you're ever going to see. The Borg Cube. There ain't nothing fancy about the ship. You just know when one of these things show up, the Federation's going to have a bad day. It's a very powerful ship. And very much else I can say about it. It's very powerful. It adapts quickly. It repairs itself. And you got to destroy something like 75% of the ship before it starts losing its combat effectiveness. Yeah, that's crazy. I would have liked to have put this higher on the list, but I just feel there's better ships, to be honest. Number 6, the Galaxy class. Yeah, okay. Everybody probably saw the Galaxy class coming. Growing up as a kid, Star Trek Next Generation was actually the newest thing on TV when it came to Star Trek. Deep Space Nine wasn't even on TV yet. I remember staying up at nights watching the show with Mom while Dad was at work. It's a very cool looking ship, and when you look at the progression between the Constitution class, the Excelsior class, which Enterprise B was an Excelsior, Ambassador class, which Enterprise C was an Ambassador, and then finally the Enterprise D being a Galaxy class, It's a very logical conclusion and evolution of ships. And come on, you got to admit, it was a pretty powerful ship. Actually, probably one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful, the Federation had to offer at the time. And the other thing I'll give it too is while there's a lot of ships in Memory Alpha and Memory Beta that are marked as being having saucer separation, this is actually the only ship you see saucer separation. Anyway, the next ship, the Defiant Class. Yeah, it's kind of a cool ship, considering, yeah, more or less it was a warship. It was an escort. I don't know if I'd consider a lone warship like DS9 put it. Actually, in all honesty, it wasn't. It's not meant to be a flagship or anything like that. It is a powerful ship, and basically it's built to strafe enemy ships. That's why it's got the pulse phase cannons. It's very fast, very cool looking, and it's feels like, even though it's outside the realm of what the Federation would build, it still feels like it's inside the realm of what the Federation would build in a time of war, when a ship like this is actually needed. Number 4, the Constitution Class. I actually want to rate this one higher, but there's still a lot more cool ships out there in the Star Trek universe. Now, don't get me wrong. This is really the ship that started it all. It's not the fanciest or most shapely, but for its time period, it was definitely one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful. It could even take on a D7 Klingon heavy cruiser. Although that being said, it would be costly to the Constitution Class. But all in all, it was still a good ship. And yeah, it was the multi-purpose workhorse. Considered as a heavy cruiser. But yeah, it was definitely a multi-purpose ship. And it was very cool looking for its time. Number 3, the Scimitar. Okay, that's not the ship's class. I actually don't know the ship's class. But it's a pretty damn cool looking ship. The first time I'd see this ship would be Star Trek Nemesis. It definitely wouldn't be the last time I'd see this ship. And actually playing Star Trek Online, you find out how popular this ship is. It must be really good. And yeah, with all of its firepower, armor, shields, torpedoes, and everything else it has, Captain Picard put it best. She's a predator. Number 2, the Burrell Class Bird of Prey. There's so much that can be said about this ship. I mean, this ship just blows my mind. To me, this is the original bad guy ship. Now, I've seen the D7. I actually seen the D7 before the Burrell, because I also used to watch the original series. Still actually do. But the first time I'd actually see this would be Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. And yeah, for a ship its size, it's a really, really deadly ship. And it's even really good in Star Trek Online. I mean, this thing is just potent. And it's a warship. Anytime I see one of these, I think about the Klingons, obviously. But then you can also bring up Klingons, and this is the ship I think about. And that, all that being said, this ship would be in service for a long time too. Obviously being in time for the Constitution Class, even before the Constitution Class. And it would actually still be in service into the Dominion War. General Martok, from what I understand, General Martok actually used this ship during the Dominion War as his personal flagship. And while the ship is not powerful and it's kind of been put into a cruiser type role from time to time, this ship is actually best served as a light harasser using cavalry type tactics. Harass the enemy lines, run off, wait till they try to regroup, hit them again. Hit them fast, hit them hard, hit them as a pack. Plus, it's got a cloaking device. I don't think I need to say more about the Burrell. And number 1. Another ship, you probably all saw this coming. But what top 10 Star Trek ship list would be without the Sovereign Class? Once again, logical conclusion of the line being this is the Enterprise E. Obviously, it looks like a step up, and obviously, it is a step up from the Enterprise D, which is a Galaxy class. At the time of first contact, this was considered the most advanced starship in the fleet. And it definitely shows. Quantum torpedoes, whole lot of phasers, regenerative shields. This thing's got everything. It's even supposedly got saucer separation. You never see it. Who knows? Maybe it'll make a return for Star Trek Picard. That'd be interesting to see, actually. And if I recall, the beta content does say Data becomes captain of the Enterprise E. So it would definitely be interesting to see the ship return to service, or at least on the screen. But anyway, folks, that was my list, my top 10 list. I try to keep the video short. Hopefully you all enjoyed it, even though it was kind of abbreviated. If you did enjoy the video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that hoopla that every YouTuber goes over. And please feel more than free to share your thoughts about the ships that made the list. Did your favorite ship make the list? Would you have maybe had a ship at a different spot? I don't know. Let's hear your opinion. But anyway, folks, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you for the next one.